Welcome my dear students in Prep 2. Today we will continue learning how to factorize a trinomial. In this session we will discuss if the trinomial is a perfect square, how can we factorize this trinomial. Okay, at first the first two steps is the same. We will arrange, then we will take if there is a highest common factor. Then I want to check if this trinomial is a perfect square or not. Okay, any trinomial is a perfect square if the first term is a perfect square and it's always positive. The second term equals 2 times root the first term times root the third term, and the third term also is a perfect square and the third term is always positive. So if you have a trinomial, you want to check if this trinomial is a perfect square or not. Look at the first term. The first term should be a perfect square and it's always positive. The middle term should be 2 times root the first times root the third. And the third term also should be a perfect square and it's always positive. Okay, let's take this exercise. Is the trinomial 4x power 2 plus 2x plus 9 a perfect square? I want to know if this trinomial is a perfect square or not. Okay, so I'll check. The first term here is 4x power 2. 4x power 2 is a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square because root 4 is 2. X power 2 also is a perfect square. Root x power 2 is x. Generally, if you have any simple and the power is even power, so this is a perfect square. Okay, the third term 9 is also a perfect square because root 9 is 3. So now we have the first term is a perfect square and positive. The third term also a perfect square and positive. Okay, let's see the middle term. The middle term here equals, we said, 2 root the first root the third. So 2 times root the first will be 2x. Root the third will be 3. 2 times 2x times 3 equals 12x, and this is 12x. Okay, so the middle term equals 2 times root the first term times root the third term. So this trinomial is a perfect square. Another exercise, show which of the following trinomials is a perfect square and which is not. The first one. Here we have the first term is a perfect square, 36. X power 2 is a perfect square. The third term, 49, is also a perfect square. Root 49 is 7. Okay, the middle term, let's calculate the middle term. I'll calculate 2 times root 36 x power 2 times root 49. It will be 2 times 6x times 7, 84x. This is 84x. So this trinomial is a perfect square. So now we check that this trinomial is a perfect square. Number 2, 12b power 2 minus 16b plus 4. Also, I want to check if this trinomial is a perfect square or not. The first term here is not a perfect square. So this trinomial is not a perfect square. It's not necessary to continue. If one of the conditions is not satisfied, so this trinomial is not a perfect square. Okay. Now, how can we find the missing part of a perfect square trinomial? If the missing part is the middle term, in this case, the middle term will be positive or negative. 2 times root the first term times root the third term. Okay, if the missing part is the first term will be the middle part power 2 over 4 times the third term, and similarly the third term will be the middle part power 2 or the middle term power 2 over 4 times the first term. So if you want to find the middle term, it will be positive or negative. 2 times root the first term times root the third term. If I want to find the first term, the middle term power 2, then I divide by 4 times the third term. And the third term, similar to the first term, the middle part power 2 over 4 times the first term. In this exercise, I want to find the missing term in each of the following trinomials. The first one, 4y power 2, and here positive 25. So I have the first term and the third term. I want the middle term. We said before the middle term is positive or negative. 2 times root first times root third. So it will be 2 times root the first is 2y. Root the third term is 5. So it will be 2 times 2y times 5. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So positive or negative 20y. Number 2, the missing part here is the first term. We said the first term equals middle term power 2 over 4 times the third term. Let's calculate. So we have 12x power 2, this is the middle term, power 2, over 4 times the third is 36. The result will be x to the power 4. So the first term here is x to the power 4. Okay, so we learned how to check if this trinomial is a perfect square or not. We will check the first and third term should be a perfect square and positive. The middle term should be positive or negative. 2 times root the first term times root the third term. And here we learn how to calculate the missing term. If the missing term is the middle term, it will be positive or negative 2 times root the first term times root the third term. If the missing term is the first, I'll calculate the middle term power 2, then I'll divide by 4 times the third term, and similarly for the third term. Okay, now how can we factorize a perfect square? After I check and I see that this trinomial is a perfect square, how can I factorize this trinomial? Okay, if you have a trinomial which is a perfect square, the factorization of this trinomial will be root the first term, positive or negative, root the third term, all power 2. This sign, positive or negative, it depends on the middle term. Okay, it depends on the middle, it's the same as the middle term in the trinomial. Okay, for example, I want to factorize here 50x power 2 minus 20xy plus 2y power 2. Okay, it's arranged. Then I can take a highest common factor here. I can take 2. So we have a highest common factor which is 2. I'll take 2, then I'll divide each term by 2. 50x power 2 divided by 2 equals 25x power 2. Then 20 divided 2 is 10, so negative 10xy. And 2y power 2 divided 2 is y power 2. So I take 2 is a common factor, so I'll divide each term by 2. Then I want to factorize this trinomial. I can notice that the first and third term is a perfect square. So let's check the middle term. The middle term should be positive or negative. 2 times root first times root third. So 2 times 5x times y. So it will be 10xy. So this trinomial here between brackets is a perfect square. So I can factorize it as 5x, this is root the first, minus this is the sign of the middle, and root the third. So 5x minus y all to the power 2. We have here another exercise. In this exercise, I want to use factorization to facilitate getting the value of some numbers. Here, for example, I have 38 power 2 minus 2 times 38 times 28 plus 28 power 2. This is a trinomial, and this trinomial is a perfect square. The first is perfect square and positive. The third perfect square and positive. The middle 2 times first times 2 times root first times root third. So this is a perfect square. So I can factorize it as 38 minus 28 all power 2. 38 minus 28 all power 2, it means 10 power 2, which is 100. So we facilitate the calculation of this problem. Okay, number 2, by the same way, the first term and the third term perfect square. The middle term equals 2 times root first times root third. So also this is a perfect square. I can factorize this perfect square as 14 plus 16 all power 2. 14 plus 16 is 30. 30 power 2 is 900. Okay, it's very easy. So we can use factorization to facilitate getting the value of some numerical problems. Okay, that's all about our session today. Next session we will continue factorization. It will be about factorizing the difference between two squares. I hope you have understood our session today. Thank you very much and good luck.